Here we go again. Yes, it is another one of those strange live streams. If you've never watched this before, then I suggest you don't click away, because this is really, really weird. Yes, you can see outside we have had a lot of rain over the past 12 hours. In fact, it is still raining now, slightly. The weather is very different to how it was last week. If you remember last week, we were having 40-degree heat. Today, it's wet, but still very humid. Yes, welcome. It is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, oh my goodness. Quick, phone your friend. Tell them. It's England. Yes. Here we go again. Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope you are feeling happy today, because we are back together again. I am here, hopefully, to put a smile on your face. And I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, we are back together, and it is a very strange day outside. We have rain, cloud. It also feels very humid as well outside. There it is. I couldn't resist showing you. It is humid outside. Very strange day. It feels as if I'm in some sort of tropical country. It feels as if I'm in Brazil or somewhere in South America. It really does feel like the Amazon today. Here we go then. Yes, we have made it to another weekend without blowing ourselves up. I hope you are having a good week and a good weekend. Yes, it is Sunday. Sunday has arrived again. It's very nice to see you here. I didn't introduce myself properly. I know, I forgot. My name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about the English language. You might say that I am one of those. A lot of people say that I am one of those. Yes, an English addict. I love English so much. One day I hope I can get married to all of the lovely words that exist in English. Talking of weddings, we are going to a wedding next weekend. One of Steve's relatives is getting married again. When I say again, I don't mean he is having a second marriage, but he's actually, this is very unusual. I've never heard of this before, but one of Steve's relatives got married about 3 weeks ago in Canada, and now they're coming here to get married again. For some people, getting married once is bad enough. So imagine having to do it twice. So that is what is happening next weekend. We are going to what I like to call the fake wedding, because they are already married, you see. That's how I look at it anyway. Maybe through my weird eyes and my strange brain, it doesn't make sense, but I'm sure it does somewhere on the planet. So that's why we're here, to talk about English. And I love the English language, and I have a feeling that you might as well. we have the live chat. Let's just have a look, shall we? Who is on the live chat today? Oh, we have quite a few people already joining in. But who was first? I wonder. Oh, hello. We have Mosen. It would appear that Mosen is trying to be the new champion with his fast finger. Congratulations, Mosen. You are first on today's live chat. Can I be honest with you? Just a moment. Can I be honest with you? I feel so tired today. I don't know why. I don't know what's happened. We had a lovely walk yesterday. We had a lovely meal last night. And I woke up this morning and I just could not wake up. And I still feel as if I'm half asleep now. I don't know why. But it's very strange. Maybe it's the weather. Because sometimes when it's hot, when it's very warm and humid, and it is quite humid today, lots of moisture in the air, and I just don't feel awake. So if I do make mistakes today, if I do drift away, if my mind begins to wander somewhere else, please forgive me because I still feel as if I'm half asleep, and I don't know why. Anyway, coming later on, we have someone who will definitely wake us all up. He will make us feel energized and excited. We have Mr. Steve coming a little bit later on as well. Today we are looking at food and also eating as well. Eating habits, words that can describe your habits when it comes to eating. And the types of, I suppose, behaviour that come with the subject of food. It is a big subject, and it is something we are talking about today. So ways of eating food, maybe the habit of eating food, all of those things will be discussed today. Of course, we have Mr. Steve here, as I mentioned, and he will be giving us some more insight. I like that word, insight. It's a very interesting word because it sounds like you're talking about your eyes, but you're not. You are talking about deep, hidden information that is revealed. So when we are talking of insight, we are talking about maybe information or facts that might not be obvious. You are having a deep delve into something. You want to discover all of those things that may be hidden or maybe things that have not been revealed. Insight. Maybe a person who is very knowledgeable or has more information up here than you do. Maybe they have more insight. They have more information, they have more knowledge about a certain thing. We often talk about insight. It's a great word, actually. I might say it again. Insight. Who else is on the live chat? I don't want to forget anyone today. I will try not to forget you. I always get told off every week. Someone says, Mr. Duncan, at least one person every week says, Mr. Duncan, you forgot me on the live chat. You didn't say hello. So I will try to include everyone today. Hello, Beatrice. Hello, Vitas is here as well. We also have, you know who's coming next. Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you are having a cool time in France. And wherever you are watching today, I hope everything is cooler. Although I do know that in certain parts of Europe, it's still quite warm. There is still a lot of heat around, which has been causing all sorts of problems, including fires everywhere across Europe. So many places have been affected by the heat, And of course, in many ways, maybe human suffering, maybe the loss of human life, but also damage caused by wildfires as well. Very strange time we are living through. Hello, Maria. Maria, it's nice to see you here today. Thank you for joining me. We also have Zudzika. We have Bluesbird. Hello, Bluesbird. I am surprised. Can you see my face? This is the look of a surprised person. I haven't seen you for a long time on the live chat. I hope you are keeping well. We also have Paolo. Hello, Paolo. Nice to see you here today. Have you been busy playing your guitar outside? I hope so. What do your neighbours ever come round and listen to you? Or maybe your friends? Paolo, do any of your friends ever come round and listen to your guitar or your singing? I wonder. Hello also to Inaki is here. I don't want to miss anyone out. I don't want to miss anyone out. Because I always get told off. I always get scolded for forgetting. Hello also Claudia. Hello Claudia. Claudia is having lots of birthday parties. Now what I think is happening is Claudia is actually celebrating her birthday with different members of the family. So each weekend, Claudia is having another birthday party, which I think is a brilliant idea because it's a very good way of, well, first of all, you can celebrate your birthday more than once, but also you can have lots of parties as well and lots of food because I like food and I have a feeling that Claudia likes food as well. Apparently, Claudia, this is very strange. Someone who was staying with Claudia said that during the night, Claudia was talking in her sleep. And there was one name that she mentioned in her sleep whilst she was talking. She was asleep, but she was talking, and she named one person. Can you guess who it was? Can you guess which person Claudia was talking to in her sleep? I wonder. Can you guess? Hello, Rosa. We also have Rosa here as well. Vittoria. Hello to you also. Lots of people joining in today on the live chat. Who else is here? We have Saturino is here as well. Wow. Can I just say, I always appreciate you giving your time to me because I know we all have busy lives. I have a busy life. I'm going to a wedding next week. It's not my wedding. Before anyone asks, can I just say it is not my wedding next weekend. It is one of Steve's relatives. It is a fake wedding we are going to next weekend because the wedding has already happened. I know it's confusing. And if you know me well, you will know that I am very easily confused in life. Definitely. Hello also Fernando, as in the ABBA song. Hello Delvey. Hello Delvey. Nice to see you here as well. I don't recognise your name. Delvey is here watching as well. Ahmed Tolba, who is watching in Kuwait. Hello to you and thank you for joining me as well. Nancy Rodriguez is here as well. Warm greetings from Sorocaba, which is in the south of Brazil. Nice to see you here as well. Of course, Brazil is being talked about at the moment because the elections are coming up later this year. And apparently one of the former presidents, I'm sure you will correct me if I've got this wrong, but I believe one of the former presidents in the past will be standing again for election this year. If you know more information about that, I'm sure you will tell me. We also have, hello to Marwar. It's so nice to see you here, Marwar. Thank you very much for joining me. Hello, RZ. I don't really know how to say your nickname, unfortunately. But hello to you as well. Who else is here? I don't want to forget anyone, you see, because I always get in trouble. You won't believe how much trouble I get into when I'm doing this. So if I miss your name today, please don't get angry with me. We have Ha-Fam. Hello, Ha-Fam, who says it is 20 minutes past 8 in the evening in Vietnam. Yes, it is much later there because you are ahead of us. You are ahead of our time. Who else is here? Hello, Ali. Ali is watching in Turkey. Hello to you as well. My goodness, we have so many people joining us today. I don't think I'm going to have a chance to say hello to everyone. So please, can I just say this again? Please don't shout at me if I don't read your name out. Please, please. Thank you. Hello, Azal Abbasi, who is watching as well. I think I might be repeating some of these names, but I want to make sure that I get everyone. I want to make sure I include you, and you, and you, and you as well. I hope so. Today we are talking about eating habits. It is something that is very close to my heart, literally, sometimes. Eating food. I love eating, but I wonder if you can guess which food I'm holding in my hand right now is the one that I eat the most. Which one? Is it this one or this one? Which one do you think? So this is the delicious fruit that apparently is very good for you, and this is the delicious chocolate with orange, which is also very delicious but is not good for you. Can you guess which one of these is my favourite food? Is it the banana or is it the Jaffa cake? Can you guess? I wonder. Also, if we have time today, can I just say we might be playing the sentence game? Yeah? Are you excited? We might be playing the sentence game today. If we have time, I will try to fit the sentence game in if I can. So I hope you are pleased about that. Okay then. Maybe not. Maybe you are not pleased about it, for which case I apologise. Oh dear. Well, okay. Well, maybe we will play the sentence game later on. We will see what happens. Would you like to play the sentence game today? If you would, please let me know. Please say, yes, Mr. Duncan, can we play the sentence game today? So myself and Mr. Steve and you, if you want to, we will play the sentence game later. Hello, Purple Pepper. Hello, Purple Pepper. I like your name, by the way, Purple Pepper. It sounds like a tongue twister. It's a little bit like Peter Piper, who picked a peck of pickled peppers. But if Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? That is the big question, I suppose. Where is Mr. Steve? He will be coming soon. Don't worry. Everyone just calm down. Take a deep breath. Mr. Steve will be here. I know he has lots of fans, and people do complain when Mr. Steve does not appear, but he will be here giving us some more of his words of wisdom. Maybe. Olga, hello Olga, is here today. Hello, I am with you, but it is not easy for me to type. I will be silent for a while. That is okay. We have a lot of people who watch, but they never ever type a message ever. So hello to those who have joined me. Otke, oh, hello Octay, who says, Mr. Duncan, we think the food that you like is this. You might be right, actually. We will be talking about food a little bit later on. Also, we will be talking about an interesting word, the word blag. Have you ever heard of the word blag? Well, it is an action that can change your life in many ways. Sometimes it can change your life for the better or the worse. It just depends on what the reaction is. So the word blag is something we will be talking about a little bit later on as well. AMRZ says, let's all give a big like. Yes, why not? If you like this, can you please don't forget to give me a big thumb, one of these, if you don't mind. It will help me, honestly. I know I say this every week, but you know these likes, if you give me one of these, it is a very valuable thing. It really is. It's like gold or petrol. Very valuable. Thank you very much for joining me. It's so nice to have you here. Yes, we do have Mr. Steve coming in a little while. Very nice. We have lots of words to talk about. Also a little sad thing today that I want to mention. Nothing big, nothing affecting me or Mr. Steve, but a little sad thing today that I want to talk about as well for a few moments. So Steve will be here in around about 3 or 4 minutes, joining us live right here in the studio. We will take a quick break and then we will be back with more of this. And yes, Mr. Steve will be here. Yes, it is a wet day today, and I thought I would show you my puddle dance and also Mr. Steve walking around in the rain as well. This is English Addict, and yes, we are with you as live can be on a Sunday afternoon, coming to you from England. Oh, wait there a second. No, ignore that. Ignore what you're looking at now. Shall we do that again? Coming to you from England. Oh. I told you I was tired.
It's a good job I wasn't picking my nose or something inappropriate whilst waiting to come on.
Or scratching your bum.
I was doing that.
Oh, okay.
That can't be seen.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I say that every week, even though I said hello to you at about 8 o'clock this morning. Oh, Mr. Duncan, it feels very hot and humid, even though the temperature outside, and we're not going to bore everybody by talking about the temperature again.
No.
But it's only about 16 degrees outside, but it feels very hot because it's humid.
It's about 89% or 90%
Lots
humid.
of moisture
Yeah.
in the atmosphere.
It's about 90% humidity today. Yes. It feels like we're in...
Oh, it's sticky.
It feels like we're in Brazil.
So I can't cool down because the sweat won't evaporate because there's already a lot of moisture in the atmosphere.
I wonder what the smell was. So Mr. Steve is back, and we have a busy weekend next week because next weekend we are going to a wedding, but it's not us.
Not this time.
Not this time. I don't think that will ever happen. But next weekend we are going to what I like to call a fake wedding.
Should you be saying that, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, of course I can. Well, the real wedding took place 3 weeks ago in Canada. So next week we're going to another wedding, even though the wedding has already happened. You know me, Steve. Sometimes I'm a bit stupid.
But there's a good reason for this, Mr. Duncan. A very good and noble reason for this.
Yes, and maybe even touching.
Yes, because my sister's eldest son got married probably 2 weeks ago now in Canada.
About 3 weeks ago now.
Something like that. But because... so he has married a Canadian girl, but obviously a lot of people from the UK, obviously he was born in the UK, his friends, members of his family couldn't all go to Canada because it's rather expensive to go all the way there and inconvenient.
It's a long way.
Because you normally go to a wedding, you go for a day, you come back the same day. But you'd have to go there for a week, wouldn't you, if you were going to do that? Because it would take you a day to get there, a day to get back, acclimatise, all that sort of thing. So anyway, mainly for the elderly relatives, such as my mother and
us,
his mother.
all the old people in the family.
Who couldn't travel, because my mother couldn't travel there. They're having another wedding over here. So quite nice, really. Because that's showing respect for people in the UK that couldn't come to the wedding.
Even though I'm still confused, because will there actually be a wedding?
I think there's some kind of service. I don't know quite what. It's just basically a sit down. It's just basically a meal. We're all meeting at a hotel and having a meal, basically. And I think there'll be some kind of few speeches and some kind of vague ceremony. I'm not quite sure what.
No.
We'll find out when we get there.
Well, that's why I'm confused, because if you get married, you can't really get married again in another country, even if you are already married. So I'm just interested. That's all, Steve.
We'll find out next week.
This is not a criticism. If any of Steve's family are watching, and I know you are all very highly strung. You are highly strung. So I'm not criticising it. I'm looking forward to eating all of that lovely food. In fact, that's the only reason why I'm coming, to be honest. Talking of food, we are talking about eating habits, ways of eating food, words that can be used to describe the way we eat. And as you know, if you are regular, if you are a viewer who tunes in every week, why? You know that Mr. Steve likes the healthy snacks like this big thing. Go on, grab hold of it. No, both hands.
Okay,
That's
right.
it.
That's a yeah. Right. Okay.
And-
yes. Well, you've got to be careful with bananas.
And I like the more unhealthy food, like this, you see. I'm not advertising this product. I wish I was, because I would be asking for thousands of these to be delivered to my house every day. So I'm not. I'm not getting paid to show this, but I do like this particular snack, this chocolate and orange snack.
I noticed earlier that Lewis said that he was going to choose a banana over other options. You do have to be careful with bananas, though. I think probably they sort of recommend that you don't have more than sort of one a day because they contain a lot of potassium, which is good for you, but not in large amounts. So you can sort of get heart arrhythmias if you have too much potassium
Is
in
it possible?
your diet.
Is it possible to
So-
die?
I don't know whether you would die, but you could get you might I don't know, you might get some effects on your heart rhythm if you say you ate 6 bananas a day.
Yes.
I think you would have too much potassium,
So-
and it can cause problems.
So how do monkeys manage?
Well, maybe their metabolism can cope with it.
Yeah.
Well, monkeys probably don't eat that many bananas. We assume that they do, but maybe they limit themselves to one a day.
Yes. Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe they go around telling each other to be careful not to eat too many bananas.
By the way, I heard you saying hello, welcoming a lot of people to the live chat
Yeah.
earlier.
Yes.
A lot of people. But one person, Fatma Aziz, was feeling sad
Why?
because you didn't say hello to them.
Fatma Aziz.
So we're going to say hello to you now,
Hello, Fatma Aziz.
and we hope you don't feel sad anymore.
I'm trying to include everyone today. I always get told off. I don't know how we manage to do this, Steve, but we always seem to miss someone on the live chat.
Yes, Vitas is asking, where is Tomek?
I don't know. How would we know?
We don't know.
We don't know. I don't know where Tomek is.
We don't, but presumably he will appear at some point.
What do you think we do? Do you think we go round and kidnap some of our viewers and force them to watch our live stream? Although that would be a very good idea.
We haven't seen Pedro either.
No.
So they always seem to come on together. There's something, I think they've got a connection going on
Oh,
there.
can I say hello to Addy? I have not seen you here for a long time. Hello, Addy.
Hello.
Wow, it seems like a long time. I believe you are watching in the United States, if my memory is serving me correctly, because today I'm feeling tired. I don't know what happened today, Steve. I woke up and I just could not wake up.
I think it's because we ate so much chocolate last night. We had a binge. We went on a binge.
Okay, don't give those words away just yet.
Okay.
I've spent all morning preparing that. But you are right. We did eat a lot of food last night. We had Mr. Steve's lovely, delicious, and I wish we could send some of it to you because it's so nice. Mr. Steve's chili con carne, which is absolutely incredible. And then last night we decided to eat some chocolate as well. We ate quite a lot of it. in
Jimmy's
fact.
here as well.
Jimmy from
Jimmy
Hong
from Hong Kong.
Hello,
is here
Jimmy. I don't want to forget anyone today.
as well. Adi doesn't like bananas. We're not starting that again, are we?
We are.
So that's interesting. A lot of people you don't really like fruit at all, do you?
No.
We'll talk about your eating habits later.
Yes, I like fruit, but I don't like bananas. I think it's the. Do you remember that time on here when you gave me a banana to eat and I couldn't eat it? It was disgusting. There is something. I don't think it's necessarily the taste of a banana, but it's the feeling in your mouth. It feels really strange. It feels as if it should not be in your mouth.
Oh, Addy is in Glasgow.
Oh, Glasgow.
Was in the US, but now home in Glasgow.
You are back in Scotland. I hope the weather is okay there, because one of the best places to go, by the way, if you don't like hot weather, Scotland is a pretty good place to go, even during the summer, because the temperature is always fairly moderate. However,
Tends to be.
one of the problems if you go to Scotland is there are lots of mosquitoes. You have to deal with those as well.
Not in Glasgow.
But not in Glasgow.
Nothing survives in Glasgow. I don't know whether you know that Glasgow, I think, is one of the most unhealthy places to live in the UK. So it often comes up in surveys as having one of the lowest life expectancies of any town in the UK. There are other towns, but the northern towns quite often tend to have the lowest life expectancy, and Glasgow is one of them. Lots of factors involved there. We won't go into it, but just to point out. So maybe, Addy, if you want to live a long life, maybe time to think about moving out.
Do you think it has a connection with the type of food that's eaten?
Well, it could be the food, it could be the alcohol, it could be general living conditions, it could be poverty, it could be a whole lot of things. Low life expectancy is not often associated with a number of different factors.
Can I just say that there are other terrible places to live in the UK? Many other places that are awful and have a short life expectancy besides Glasgow. So we're not picking on Glasgow.
We're not picking on Glasgow, we're just picking on it because Addy happens to live in Glasgow. So I just thought I'd point out that fact. It used to be, it probably still is, but it certainly used to be one of the towns with the lowest life expectancy.
And maybe it isn't now.
I don't think it will have improved very much.
Okay. I didn't realise you were such an expert on
Well,
this.
I just happen, I read these surveys.
Okay.
But Sardinia is where it has the longest life expectancy. So says Victoria.
Oh. So everyone, let's all go to Sardinia and have a very long and lovely life. It sounds like a nice place to live.
It does, Sardinia. It sounds like a nice, relaxed way of life. Lots of Mediterranean food, healthy food.
I think that's what it. Yes, and we will talk about this later on. Different types of habits, different habits that different people have depending on where they are in the world, and lots of other words as well connected to that thing.
Going back to Glasgow, they're very tough in Glasgow.
Are
the
they?
men and the women, they're very tough. Tough, sort of hard-talking, tough people in Glasgow. It's a bit like Manchester in a way. Manchester's known for being, tough.
Really?
Yeah, you don't mess around with people from Glasgow.
See, now when I think of a place that's tough and everyone is tough and strong, I always think of places like Liverpool as well.
Liverpool.
I don't think they take any nonsense in Liverpool.
Glaswegians, as they are
Yes.
called. If you're from Glasgow, you're called a Glaswegian.
Yes.
And they're known for being sort of hard-talking, hard-drinking, no-nonsense, tough. You don't mess with people from Glasgow.
That might explain the short lifespan.
Could be. I don't know.
If they're all busy beating each other up, maybe, perhaps.
Yes, but yes, I had a boss from a previous company going back nearly 30 years. He was the sales director and he was from Glasgow. And, he just called a spade a spade.
Yes, no nonsense.
No nonsense. Just got on with it. But my goodness, could he drink? I think he died when he was about 50.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, proving the point again.
He was great. He was great. He was such a character. But he used to. So we'd have sales conferences quite regularly, and he would just get. All the directors did. Every conference, they just used to get so drunk, and in fact, you couldn't go to bed. You weren't allowed to go to bed until the sales director had literally
What?
gone unconscious and been
Oh.
taken to bed.
I wonder what you're going to
He
say
used to
then.
drink so much he went unconscious.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, you could go to bed.
Can I just say
If
this
you
is,
tried,
this is not the company that Steve's works for now.
no, things have changed over the years now. You're not, health and safety and duty of care. Companies are not allowed to let you get really drunk in conferences anymore, because if you've got to drive back the next day, they could be responsible
Yes.
if you were to be over the limit.
Yes, you know what it's like nowadays. Everyone sues each other, whatever it is. So I suppose so. Anyway,
Duty of care.
we
But
have,
yeah,
we have to move on, Steve.
it was hilarious. It really was.
We have
I've
to-
got lots of stories about
Okay.
about that. My
Well,
time.
Well, maybe
in sales
maybe
going
you
back
can tell
30
those
years.
later on when you're upstairs. So,
I'll write a book.
Mr. Steve, we have lots of things to talk about. Would you like to talk about something a little bit sad? Because today is a sad anniversary.
Sad.
Sad anniversary, Steve. It's a sad anniversary because today, on this day in 1980, the world of entertainment lost a big star.
In 1980.
Way back in 1980, in fact, two big stars actually passed away in 1980, including John Lennon, of course, who was shot dead. But we also have this guy. He died on this day in 1980. What a talented man. Many films, many disguises, many characters. He started out on radio and then he tried to get into television. It took him a long time to get into TV. And then also he eventually got into movies as well. And most people will recognise him from the Pink Panther movies, playing Inspector Clouseau. Of course, we are talking about the late, great Peter Sellers, passed away from a heart attack on this day in 1980, only 54. Isn't that tragic?
He looked a lot older than his years. People did used to look older than their
Yes.
years in those days, but
Well-
that's another subject.
Well, one of the problems, he had ill health for many, many years. So he did have quite a few heart attacks in his life, and he did age prematurely. And I no doubt you know this, Steve, already, but if you have ill health through your life, it does age you. It can make you look
Particularly
quite...
heart attacks.
So he did. By the time he was 54, he looked about 64 or nearly 70. He did look quite old, but it's quite sad. But a very complex man, not an easy man to get along with, but a comedy genius. And I always find this strange, Steve. People who are funny, maybe they are a comedian or a comedy actor, they often seem to have a troubled character, or their way of living, or their way of dealing with problems. It always seems to be much more difficult. So Peter Sellers, it's well known that he dealt with depression and self-doubt and also drug abuse, alcohol abuse. All of these things were there. But people still say that he was a comedy genius. And it is strange how that happens, how that can actually be true. A person who is funny, a person who spreads joy and laughter. And we know many comedians who are like that. I think Jim Carrey is very similar to that. I think he's quite a deep, thoughtful, and maybe even a troubled person away from his big screen personas.
So were they healthy eaters then?
Well, I'm not sure if they were healthy eaters, but not healthy thinkers. Up here, they were very complex. So there are many comedians, I can think of at least two more, who had troubled lives. Tony Hancock, another British comedian, very famous on the radio and for a short time on television, also another troubled person, but funny. And I don't know why there is that cliche, isn't there, Steve, of the sad clown. The clown who is making others laugh, but themselves, they don't feel happy. They have their own personal doubts and
Are
problems.
you going anywhere with this, Mr. Duncan?
No, I just think it's
Okay.
an interesting subject. I'm not going anywhere. Why, where do you want me to go?
I don't know. I thought you had brought this up for a reason.
No reason. Well, because Peter Sellers died today in 1980.
Ah, right.
That's literally what I've been talking about. I'm not sure if you've been listening to the last
For 42 years.
Yes, a long time ago, but people still talk about his movies and all of his great characters that he played. He was the master of disguise. I think that is one of the secrets of being a good actor, isn't it, Steve? You can actually change your whole personality to something else.
Yes. I don't know whether anybody watching will remember Peter Sellers. Hopefully, if you're over 40, I would imagine a lot of people.
I think
do
everyone.
remember him.
Yes, the Pink Panther. He's hilarious. I would imagine everyone watching at the moment knows all about it. Good morning. Good. Do you have a licence for that Minky?
Yes, he used to take the Mickey, the fun out of. He used to take. Make a joke out of the French accent,
Well,
the way
it
British
was
people speak.
Yes, it was a character.
It was a character, exactly, yes.
But very funny. I don't think he was being insulting towards the French, because the French love it as well. The French embrace that sort of thing. So the French do have a sense of humour as well. Although there was a terrible version of the Pink Panther later with Steve Martin, which, to be honest with you, was not very good. There is only one Pink Panther, and that is Peter Sellers. I hate that when another person tries to do something that is iconic. But I find that amazing. I find that quite interesting that people who are funny or witty or are able to make other people laugh quite often are not happy people themselves. Very interesting.
Perhaps they use humour to try and cheer themselves up. It's their way of coping.
Well, that's what happened. Many comedians do in their young life, don't they? I suppose they make their classmates laugh as a self-defence mechanism, and then they become addicted to it. It is another way of living, because your deep character is something you don't want to show, so you wear a mask. I think that's also what Peter Sellers said. He said he wasn't really anyone unless he was playing a character. So that was part of his...
That's how I feel on the stage. I need to be playing a character. I like to get out of myself. I don't like singing songs when it's just me. I'm just me. I like to be doing it within a character.
Yes.
Because I can relax more then. Do we like Indian food?
We do. We had the most amazing Indian meal last week.
Well, Mega, you see, Mega Kakar asks us, do we like Indian food? Yes.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
I could literally live. If I could choose one food to eat, if I could only have one all my life, it would be Indian food. I'd give up fish and chips, porridge, everything, as long as I could eat Indian food.
I think curry is more... I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. I think it's more sophisticated curry than what I would call British food, like fish and chips. I never think fish and chips is sophisticated or something that you would go out and really enjoy as if you were going out for a romantic meal. No one ever goes to a posh restaurant and orders fish and chips.
I do.
No, but you know what I mean. When I say posh, I mean like the Savoy or the places that you have to almost take out another mortgage to eat at. So that sort of thing. But we had the absolutely most delicious Indian curry last week with our friend Martin.
We did. The problem is, though, that not the problem, but Indian food served to British people in Indian restaurants in the UK isn't the same as Indian food how Indians would cook it. It's sort of westernised. So there's a lot more fat in it and heavy, thick sauces to try and make the more palatable to what Indians think that English people want to eat.
And don't forget, curry also is made in Pakistan. We have Bengali, so lots of different styles of dish as well. So not only India, but that sort of meal, that sort of food, with all of those lovely herbs.
Spicy food, yes. I mean, Indonesia, that's similar, isn't it? It's sort of that style of food in Malaysia. They've got their own forms of curry. We used to eat lots of those.
Yes, and even that is influenced by Indian cuisine.
Yes.
So it's amazing.
So if I could choose one type of food to eat for the rest of my life, it would be Indian food. Definitely.
Very nice.
And I particularly like vegetarian Indian food, like dal, lentils, rice. That sort of.
Okay.
I'm feeling hungry, Mr. Duncan.
I thought you were going into mime there. I thought
No,
you were
I'm just
starting to
feeling very
mime
hungry.
things. Welcome everyone. If you just joined us, this is English Addict. This is a new way to learn English. When I say new, can you believe I've been doing my live streams for 6 years? 6 years I've been doing this live. And of course my recorded lessons I've been doing for nearly 16 years. And I still haven't received my play button, by the way. A lot of people asking, Mr. Duncan, have you received your award from YouTube? The answer is no, I haven't. I don't think I will.
So please, let's start a petition for Mr. Duncan. And you didn't get your silver one for 500.
No, 100,000.
Yeah, you didn't get that. Is the one for 500,000?
There isn't.
But
So
so they owe you two. So, please message YouTube and say, why hasn't Mr. Duncan had his silver and his gold buttons?
Yes. For 100,000 and then 1 million.
YouTube, you owe Mr. Duncan.
Yes, we passed it.
Pay up.
We passed 1 million subscribers about 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't received anything, not even an email, not even something that says, hello, Mr. Duncan, congratulations, well done, from YouTube. No, nothing. Not a sausage.
Belarusia, a.k.a. Claudia.
Oh, Claudia's still here.
Is here.
Because Claudia is having another birthday party today.
Another one.
Another one.
She's having breakfast. Porridge. And half an apple. What do I have every morning, Mr. Duncan, for breakfast?
Mr. Steve has, quite often, you have porridge in the morning.
I do.
And you have maybe some is it blueberries?
Sometimes I put blueberries in it. Other times I put prunes in it, to help with the old evacuation.
Just the word prunes. The word prune makes me not want to eat prunes.
The great thing about porridge is you can have a average size bowl of, and when we say porridge, I mean the proper porridge oats.
Okay.
Not the what's that one that you used to just stir with hot milk?
What you mean, ready breck?
Ready breck. That's not proper porridge.
Do not criticise ready breck.
I mean proper old-fashioned porridge oats in a saucepan, milk. Or you can put it in the microwave. I don't like microwave porridge. It tastes funny.
Okay.
It doesn't taste. So I always stir it in the saucepan. You don't feel hungry for the rest of the morning.
Yes.
I never feel as though I want to have any snacks or anything. It just sort of, I don't know, sort of sits in your stomach and just sort of keeps you going all morning.
Okay, Steve, we've got a lot of reaction, by the way, to Peter Sellers and also the campaign to get my silver and gold buttons.
Are people saying, why are you talking about Peter Sellers?
Well, if you've been watching, yes. and if people are commenting on it, then they'll know why, because they obviously heard me talk about it for them to comment on it. So hashtag, yes, we're going to start a hashtag. Hashtag, where is Mr. Duncan's button? Although that might be taken the wrong way.
What does it? I don't understand what a hashtag is used for.
Well, that hashtag, there you go. That's a hashtag.
I know what it is, but what's it used for?
No, I'm just about to explain. If you just let me finish my sentence, that would be very nice if you do. A hashtag is a way of marking something for other people to see as a reference to a movement or a cause or a key word. That's it.
So I don't understand how it works.
Well, I've just literally told you. You put it in front of a phrase or a word, and then it can be easily found on the internet. So when another person enters that word or phrase, it will come up because it's been flagged or marked.
But why wouldn't it come up anyway?
It wouldn't, because there are millions of words in the English language. So that is a way of marking a certain phrase or sentence to make sure it's easy or easier to find or reference. So that's the reason why modern social media often uses hashtags, because it's much easier to find the information or the subject or the cause
You mean if somebody's searching, you mean?
that you are interested in, yes.
So if you put... So, OK, so if somebody started...
You still want me to...
Mr Duncan's gold button...
Yes.
So why pushing a hashtag in front of it? Why does that make it... So then...
Because a hashtag will then make that into something else, something that's easy to recognise,
Okay.
and it will come up on other searches instantly. So random words won't, because there are millions of words. So what the hashtag does, it allows you to tag that phrase and make it easier to find, and also it will come up in other searches. It's used very often on Instagram and also Twitter. So Twitter, to be honest, Twitter have made the hashtag its own, to be honest. So everything on Twitter relies on hashtags. So the hashtag, where is Mr. Duncan's button? You see,
That's Rosa started that hashtag. Where is the Mr Duncan Award on Twitter?
Yes.
Inaki says, do you have wild blueberries? Yes. So I buy packs of blueberries. Now, they're very expensive blueberries in the UK. They're very, very expensive. A little tub is very expensive.
Is that because they're not grown here?
I think so. They always tend to come from abroad. I don't think they grow very well in this country. And I think they're quite high maintenance because I think the birds... I don't think they grow very well in this country. When I've noticed on the pack, they're always coming from like Peru or somewhere like that. So I think that they're. But what I do is, because they don't last very long, so I boil them with a little bit of sugar and put them in a jam jar, and then they keep. So I turn them into a kind of jam.
But very soft and runny.
Yes, and then I can then just spoon it out as I need it, and it will keep for like 2 weeks in the fridge.
Addie is a big fan of blueberries. I like them, but the only problem is they can be a little sour. So I'm quite fussy. That's what Steve said earlier about me. I can be a bit fussy. And certain types of fruit I will not eat. However, I do like strawberries.
You do?
And I do like mangoes. But the problem is, living here in England, it's very hard to get good mangoes. We don't grow them here, you see.
No.
They have to come from the other side of the world.
Mind you, if we get more of this hot weather in the future, we'll be able to grow these kinds of fruits.
Yes.
In the UK. I mean, if it regularly gets to sort of mid-30s every summer, for prolonged periods of time, we will be able to grow exotic fruits.
So that could be a benefit of global warming. We might actually be able to grow our own mangoes here. The only problem is we're not getting them at the moment. They're not being delivered because everything has gone... I don't know if you've heard on the news, but everything has gone crazy here. You can't catch planes anymore because there aren't enough air staff. You can't get on a boat and sail across to France because there are thousands of people queuing up trying to get across.
Yes.
And we all know why.
That's the big news this week.
We all know why that's happening.
We actually don't know.
Well,
the British are blaming the French and the French are blaming the British. So
yes.
Who knows who's... Well, apparently...
But it is because of that thing.
Yeah, so the British are saying that the French people didn't send enough staff to man the the passport booths.
Yes. So so in the olden days when we had beautiful Europe, the European Union, you could just go across to France and there would be no delay.
Because you didn't need to show a passport.
In fact, someone today was talking about how easy it was. Quite often during busy periods, Steve, they wouldn't even bother checking anything because you still have to show your passport, but they just wave you through. But now you have to have everything checked. The passport has to be checked, and then they have to put a stamp on it like the old days.
It's ridiculous.
So every person, every individual that goes through now has to be checked to make sure their passport is current and everything is in order. And at the moment it's the peak time of holiday season, and
Lots
there are
of-
thousands of people.
The queues, people were waiting in queues for sort of 7 hours, and the lorries went back miles.
Yes.
They were showing, they must have sent probably a drone or something along this. And for as far as the eye could see, literally for miles, there were lorries queuing. Because what's happening is that they're putting off, they're now prioritising holidaymakers and telling the lorries that they've got to wait.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yes.
And so the British are blaming the French, saying that the French didn't send enough controllers to check the passports
Yes.
over to Dover.
Inspectors.
Inspectors, that's it. But also, the French people are saying that we haven't built anywhere near enough checkpoints.
Yes.
We
Well,
need far more checkpoints
yes.
in order for everybody to be processed.
Well, we
So,
were told that we had to do that, and we refused to do it. And now, well, of course, the word we're looking for, by the way, is Brexit. So now, because we are not part of Europe, we are now seen as a separate country, which means that now we need to produce our passport, and the passport must be
just to go 13 miles across the channel. It's crazy.
It's a great idea, everyone. Can I say a big thank you to all those who voted for Brexit? Thank you.
But what I found interesting is that they were interviewing a lot of people who were stuck in their cars for 7 hours, waiting to cross the checkpoints in Dover. And they were asking them, how's it been? And a lot of them were going, oh, it's fine. Oh, we don't mind. They're lying.
I would imagine they are people that voted for Brexit.
Exactly, because they would have just literally gone through in probably 10 minutes before.
You see?
So what a nightmare. What a nightmare. And this isn't going to go away.
So I'm so glad that we have stayed here. We are staying here. We might be going away in September, but we're not going abroad. It's just too much hassle.
It's far too... that we cannot now go abroad during holiday periods when the children are not at school, because that's what's happening now. The children have broken up and everyone is going on holiday, and a lot of people like to go to France and drive across, take the Eurostar or put their car onto a ferry and drive to France. But instead of just being able to just go straight through without worrying about passports, they now have to wait, and they'll have to wait to come back as well.
Yes. Well,
They'll have to be checked on the way back.
And let us not forget the other one, airports. A lot of people are complaining because in the olden days, when we were part of Europe, when you were flying to and from places like France, you could just go straight through. And when you returned, you could also go straight through. But now you have to go with everyone else from all around the world, because now we are a separate country. And it's amazing how many people have complained about the fact they have to now queue with everyone else. And that's because we left Europe, you bloody idiots.
And of course, what was I going to say then? I think so. The only way to avoid that is to travel first class, which obviously would be far too expensive for most people, because then you can go straight through or very quickly go through. But if you're taking your car across the channel, even if, doesn't matter how much money you've got, you're still going to have to queue up.
There's no first
at
class.
those checkpoints.
There's no first class on a ferry.
No, or on you. As far as I know, I don't think there's any way of bypassing it. But if you were to fly, then yes, you could if you wanted to. But so if we're ever going to go abroad now, if we're ever going to go to Europe, we're going to have to go when the children are at school, not during the holiday, because that's the only chance of being able to get through the customs checks
without
quicker.
being delayed for several days.
Yes.
Oh, isn't this wonderful?
So I think a lot of people will after this experience now, because this is the first year where a lot of people have really tried to go abroad because of all the restrictions that have been on because of COVID. So I think a lot of people may well decide that they're going to have a holiday in the UK in the future and not go abroad at all, which will make things difficult here.
I wonder how many people have changed their mind about Brexit because they've suddenly realised that there are many, many inconveniences that we didn't have before and now we do, including maybe mangoes will disappear from our shelves. It is much harder to get mangoes and fresh fruit from certain parts of the world. And of course, I don't think I need to even mention grain or wheat as well. Yes. So it's all gone crazy since 2016. I don't know what happened in 2016, but the whole world seemed to go crazy and everything has been weird since then.
Well, Ahmad says if we want the best mangoes ever, we need to go to Egypt.
Oh, yes, I agree with you. You are right. That is it. Yes, I've heard this. In fact, I've heard this before. Some of the most delicious fruit. There are other things as well. I think guavas. Have you ever heard of guava?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Apparently, that's supposed to be. I've never eaten one, but apparently guavas, they're supposed to be lovely as well. I've never tried one, and papaya as well. I've never tried papaya.
That's good. Yeah, that's nice.
I like to say papaya, but no, never had it.
Claudia's making a chocolate cake.
Oh yes, I meant to mention. I meant to ask.
And Lewis says, "Isn't that junk food?" I don't think you described chocolate cake as junk food. I mean, it depends how much sugar you put in it. I mean, chocolate's good for you, wheat's good for you, but the fat and the sugar, not so good for you. Probably is junk food. Yes. I don't know whether you. Yes,
I don't care.
Junk food is food that you don't really need to have, and contains poor nutrition.
Yes, normally too much of the things that are bad for you.
Yes. But it's one of those.
But they taste delicious. That's the problem. Why do all the bad things, all the unhealthy foods, taste so gorgeous and lovely? Like last night, we were sitting watching television and we were eating chocolate. We couldn't stop ourselves. It's like we're addicted.
It's the sugar. Once you have one piece, sugar is sugar. They think that they often say that sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Although probably easier to come off it.
You don't have to put chocolate up your nose, fortunately. Here's a word, by the way, Steve. I want to mention this word. Here's an interesting word. I heard this word during the week, and I have to be honest with you. I love this word. It's a very expressive word, and the word is blag. Blag. I'm sure you've heard of this word, Steve.
Of course.
Blag. When a person decides to do something, maybe they want to get a job somewhere, maybe they want to get into a certain place, maybe they want to start their career and they have no experience. Quite often a person will blag, which means that you create or make up things to make yourself feel or seem more qualified than you really are. So it's a form of lying. But a lot of people do this. They blag. Maybe a person who talks and they say certain things because they want to get in to a certain place. They will say it in a certain way or make up things.
They're very skilled with persuading you
yes.
about themselves. You can blag if you blag your way into a job, it means that you talk yourself up. Maybe you don't necessarily have to lie, but you might exaggerate your abilities, rather in order to get that particular job. Yes, you're trying to hope that what you say, and you might be very enthusiastic, sort of very positive, and talk about all your past successes, which may or may not be true. But you're trying to convince somebody that they want you for a job, or you can blag your way into a relationship, can't you?
Yes.
It just means that you use the power of speech
Yes.
and communication to get something.
So quite often it's a verb that shows that you are using your use of words, or maybe you are being persuasive, like Steve said, or maybe sometimes you might make things up. You might embellish things, maybe your CV or your past experience. You will say, oh, I've done that and I've done that, but really you haven't. But you are doing it so convincingly, and you want that person to see you. Maybe you are an actor and you are trying to be found and discovered, so you might have to blag your way into a studio or into an audition, because otherwise they won't want you. But maybe you have lots of talent, lots of things to offer, so you need maybe sometimes to blag your way in to a place. I love that. I think that's a great word, by the way. Lots of lovely words in the English language, and that is one of them. We are talking about eating habits in a few moments, Steve. Habits and ways of eating food. And if we have time, Steve doesn't know this. If we have time, we might even play the sentence game. Yes.
Well,
if we have time.
Let's send a message. Let's send a message to you know who that we could be doing the sentence game, and that will make a certain person appear. Let's send a message. All of us now send a message through the ether, through the universe, a message to a certain person who's living near Amsterdam somewhere, and we're going to send a little message to say sentence game. And let's see if that person magically appears.
Okay. We're taking a quick break, and then we will be back. I'm going to grab some water because my throat is very dry. And then we will be back. Don't go away. Lots more English coming your way. Please stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed that. Some lovely moo cows there. Welcome to English Addict. It's 3:20 here in the UK. It's a hot one. Hot and sticky. I'm all hot and sticky, Mr. Steve.
Well, a certain person has appeared.
Yes?
Not the one I was thinking of earlier.
Okay.
Who someone has corrected me because it's not Amsterdam, it's Rotterdam. Of course. So thank you for that, Vitas. So we'll just have to see whether that certain person who likes the sentence game turns up. But meanwhile, we've got
Pedro Belmont.
hello.
Is here. Hello, Pedro. Nice to see you here
Yes.
on the live chat.
Yes. So we're not showing flags of the world, but we might be doing the sentence game. So if you've got a direct connection to a certain person in Rotterdam, maybe you could send them a text and get them to come on.
But the thing is, we might not have time.
We might not do it.
We might not have time. It depends how much Mr. Steve talks. I'm blaming you. So here we go. We got some interesting words to talk about connected to eating, styles, types of eating, eating habits. You are what you eat. I love this expression, by the way. A lot of people say this. So a person who eats lots of unhealthy food might become unhealthy. You are what you eat. If you eat healthy, like Mr. Steve often does, not always, but you are, I would say 90% of the time, Steve eats in a very healthy way. And then now and again, he treats himself to something like we did last night. So we have a few words coming up. Once again, Steve has blocked my screen, so I can't see.
Yes, it's a phrase that people use a lot in the UK. You are what you eat. So if somebody eats lots of junk food, cakes, sweets, lots of alcohol, then you'll put weight on, and it's a phrase which is indicating that your eating habits are reflected in your outward appearance.
How true it is, I'm not sure, because I know a lot of people who eat very unhealthily and yet they still seem to be quite fit and healthy. And then there are people who do a lot of exercise and eat well, and they seem to always be suffering from ill health. So I don't think it's always like that. Anyway, we're talking about food, Steve. So different types of food, all the food you can think of, certain types of food that you might use every day, or maybe something you will eat occasionally. So generic, a generic word for anything that can be eaten. We talk about food. Other words we can use, Steve. Here's another one. Provisions. I like this word. It's very formal, but you might talk about provisions. The provisions are the things that you need. They are, well, I suppose the word provide is in there. So the provisions are the things that you need to survive, and quite often we think of food as the provisions, the things you need for survival, things you need to live.
Yes, if you're going on an expedition, say you're going on a walking holiday, say you're going out for the day with a rucksack,
Yes.
then you would take some provisions with you. So you'll take some sandwiches, maybe some high energy snacks, some water, things that will provide sustenance for you and energy and nutrition and provisions.
And keep you alive.
And keep you alive, that's it. So you wouldn't say, I'm going to the supermarket to buy my provisions. You normally use that word if you're going away from the home on an excursion somewhere, don't you, I think?
Yes, it's used in a very formal way.
Yes. Packing a rucksack full of, an army. If you're on an army, in the army, you would have your provisions with you.
Good one.
Your food, your high energy snacks, things like that. But similarly, if you're going on a day out,
Yes, a picnic.
a picnic, you could say, I've got my provisions with me. But you wouldn't use that for food that you bring into the home.
No,
It's normally when you're going out of the home, isn't it?
normally. The more common word, of course, is groceries.
Groceries, that's it. So
Groceries.
that's what you bring into your home, isn't it? So you go to the supermarket or you go to the supermarket and you buy your groceries,
Mm.
that's all types of food, isn't it? Isn't that
It
right,
is.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes. So we often think of a grocery shop as selling all food, and then of course there is a greengrocer. So the greengrocer will sell vegetables, fruit, things like that. So perishable food. That's a great word. Another good word. We're using some good words today, by the way. Something that's perishable is something that will go bad and rot in a very short period of time. So we often think of a greengrocer as a person who sells fruit, vegetables, and then a grocer's shop will sell general things, so all sorts of food.
Canned food. They'd sell some vegetables, some meat, some cheese. Groceries is everything that you could possibly think of eating. Cans of water, drink, anything you think you could eat would be a grocery shop, which we don't tend to call them grocery shops anymore. We tend to call them supermarkets, don't we?
In American English, they still use the word groceries.
Do they?
So it is still, you will find a lot of shops still use the word grocer and also groceries when a person is going out to buy the things for their week, maybe food, canned food, and also other things including toiletries, soap, shampoo, toilet paper are often all included in groceries as well.
Pedro's talking about his very healthy diet. He drinks 6 litres of water a day, and his diet is based on chicken, eggs, bovine, which is cow, isn't it? Liver, bovine liver, cow's liver, oatmeal, potatoes, corn and rice. That sounds very healthy. I can't see many fruit in there. Pedro, do you eat fruit as well? But that looks like a very healthy diet.
Good.
Staples, is that a word you've got?
Yes. When we talk about staples, we often think of things that are there to provide your vitamins, all of the essential
sort of food. So wheat would be a staple. Bread would be a staple. It's a sort of something that everybody eats a lot of to keep healthy.
I like to call it common food.
You would probably say potatoes might be a staple, but certainly wheat, milk, butter, bread, eggs, you would say they are staples. Rice would be a staple in India and in China. Rice would be a staple food. It's a very common. That's the food that you can't do without. Your staples, your important food groups.
We have some words connected to food, some slang words. Sometimes we might refer to food as grub. I like this, grub. You might grab some grub. So this word refers to food, maybe something you want to eat very quickly. Maybe you are hungry and you want to suddenly have something to eat. You need some grub. It's a great...
Is it a slang word, did you say?
It is a slang term.
Word for a meal, isn't it?
Yes, or food.
Or food, yes. Let's get some grub, you might say, which could be anything. It could be a meal in a restaurant. This could be a sandwich at the local shop.
So this is often used as a colloquialism or maybe also a slang term for food. Here's another one. I need to get through these a little quicker. Chow as well. I love that. Chow. So when we talk about chow, you want to have some, or grab, or get some chow. We are talking about food. It is a very informal way of saying food.
We don't use that very much in the UK, do we, that word?
We can use it, yes. Yes, it might be used in certain situations. It is maybe not common, but it certainly is used.
Is it used in America more, would you say?
I think it's used equally. We will use chow here. It can also be used as a verb as well. If you eat something quickly, you chow down something. So quite often we will say that a person who eats They eat a lot of food, or they eat very quickly. You chow down the food. You eat it very quickly.
Vitas said earlier that he likes raisins,
Oh, okay.
which of course are dried grapes. I love raisins. You can eat handfuls of raisins, can't you? Oh, I love raisins in anything. I'll put it in porridge. I'll put it on cereal. But you've got to be careful, because when you think, raisins are dried grapes, but if you have a handful of raisins, it's like having hundreds of grapes all at the same time.
Yes. I wonder what you're going to say then.
Well, when you think each one is a dried grape,
Hmm.
well, how many grapes would you normally eat?
Yeah.
You probably have maybe a dozen grapes.
Yeah, so
Well-
a handful would be about 20 or 30.
It's like having like having a big bunch of grapes all at once.
Hmm.
There's a lot of sugar in raisins. You've got to be a bit careful with those.
Yes. And that does happen quite often with food that appears to be healthy. If you eat too much of it, as we mentioned earlier about the bananas, so too many bananas, one banana, healthy, good for you, but too many bananas, not so good, not so healthy.
Yes, Saud Cheklat says in China the staple food is rice. Yes, the most important food that is it's something that everybody eats.
Yes, and also noodles as well, which can be made from rice or wheat. Here's another one, Steve. Here's one of my favourite words connected to food: snack.
Oh, right, yes.
So this can be used as a verb or a noun. So the thing you are eating may be a small meal, maybe something you want to eat quickly. We describe as a snack. So maybe it is not your lunch or dinner or breakfast. Maybe you are just eating something very quickly whilst you are on the go.
Maybe in between main meals.
Yes.
You might have a little snack around 11 o'clock,
Hmm.
which could be a couple of biscuits or a chocolate bar. That would be a snack.
And also as a verb, you snack on something. You eat something, maybe something just to fill your stomach slightly in between your main meals. So this can be used as a noun to describe the actual food or the actual action of eating something just very quickly. You have a quick snack. You snack on something.
Pedro has, I asked a question about fruit, and Pedro says he has avocados and guava
Oh,
sometimes.
you
So
like.
I like avocados,
Yeah.
yes. They say that, avocados are very high in fat, but it's very healthy fat.
Mm.
So you can put on weight if you eat too many avocados, but say one a week is good, very good for you, because it's got very healthy fats in it, which are good obviously for your cholesterol levels.
I always think of, I can't think about avocados nowadays without thinking of that guy on YouTube who just keeps eating lots of food, Nikocado Avocado. I can't stop thinking about him, you see, because he started off as being a vegan, eating healthy food, and then suddenly he decided he didn't want to be a vegan, and so instead he just eats all of the worst food and also lots of the food as well. So whenever I think of avocado, I always think of that guy on YouTube. Eating lots of food. Here's another one, Steve.
I think Pedro has a very healthy diet, and you can see from his pictures.
It sounds healthy. Yes.
Yes.
Meal. So this is a general term for anything that is normally placed or prepared for maybe one person or a group of people to eat. So a meal is something that is prepared or served maybe for one person. You might make a meal for yourself, or you might cook a meal for many people. So you make a lot of it, and then you serve that meal to other people.
And a meal could be breakfast, couldn't it? It
Yes.
could be dinner, it could be tea, but it suggests something substantial,
Yes.
something a lot more than a snack. I'm going to cook a meal. So maybe it was, yes, you could say it was, I don't know, you were having your evening meal, which you could also describe as your dinner. But a meal is just something you eat. So I often say to you, I'm going to cook the meal. I wouldn't say I'm going to cook dinner. I could say that.
Yes.
If it was, say, 6 o'clock at night, I would say I'm going to cook the meal. Because we know that meal is dinner because of the time. But yeah, you could, the meal, exactly. It's just a substantial amount of food, breakfast, dinner, or tea.
Yes. Another one we can use. If you are going to a party like we are next week, we are going to a wedding, not ours, a wedding reception next week, because Mr. Steve's nephew is getting married. Well, he's got married already, but this is another wedding for people living in the UK. So I'm not sure if it's a real wedding, or maybe we just go to a cardboard church. It's not real. We just pretend.
There's no religious overtones to this wedding, apparently.
No. Oh, I see.
Yes.
Oh, is that what? Why?
Because they consider themselves as atheists.
Oh, really? Both of them?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh,
yeah. So there's no religious overtones or religious elements to this particular wedding.
There's no praying. There's no. Well, how do you make vows then?
Well, I think you can still make vows. I don't know how it works.
No,
Maybe they'd haven't.
Well, that was just the point I was making, because vows are normally, before the vows are exchanged, the promises, they normally say before God. Before God, you make your vows.
Yes.
Yeah, so if there's no God, if there's no God in the ceremony, then the vows...
I think you can still make them, but it's worded differently. I don't know how that
But it makes them
works.
pointless.
Yes.
Because it's the God bit. It's the stamp of God. You must promise.
Pedro's not giving us very much of his time today. He's just come in a flourish, and now he's gone.
Oh.
Off to eat some healthy food.
See you later, Pedro. Here's another one. Anyway, the word feast. Feast is another word that's interesting, because you can use it as a noun and also a verb.
A feast, that suggests a large quantity of food.
Yes.
And it often gives the suggestion of meat, but of course it doesn't have to. A wedding feast, as you say.
Yes.
Where the parents are going to impress all the guests, and the other family of the person that's being married, showing off, impressing with a large spread of food. A feast is often done to impress people. Yes, Lewis says here, you have a snack when you are peckish.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, there's a good word.
A good word.
Peckish.
The feeling of wanting to eat something straight away. You feel peckish. You want to eat something quickly.
I think a sandwich could be described as a snack, couldn't it?
It can.
Just a sandwich.
Yes.
It's a snack, a small amount of food just to keep your energy levels going. Oh, I'm feeling peckish. I think I'll have a sandwich.
Here's another one.
Oh, thanks for that, Lewis.
Here are some words to describe the way you eat. So here are some words that describe the sound, or maybe the way, the manner in which you eat food. So our first word is chew. I like this word, chew. You chew. You put the food in your mouth, and then you need to make the food soft so you can swallow it. Because if you eat food too quickly, you can get into all sorts of problems. So quite often, something hard, maybe meat, a good example, meat, or Mr. Steve when he's made potatoes.
I'm bad at chewing my food, aren't I, Mr. Duncan?
You don't.
I'm very bad at chewing my food.
Mr. Steve eats so fast.
Yes, so I because I'm usually hungry, and you should chew your food because it's part of the starting the process of digestion. So if you don't chew your food properly, then your stomach is going to have it's going to have to work a lot harder to break the food down.
Yes, to digest.
To digest it, because if it's not in smaller chunks, it's got to take a long time to process it, and you might your stomach might make too much acid because it needs more acid to break down the food because you haven't chewed it properly.
Yeah.
And then you might get acid reflux and all sorts of problems
Well,
like
what
that.
people often don't realise is the digestive process starts in your mouth.
Yes.
Because you produce, normally when you eat, you will produce that liquid. It's almost like water, but it's saliva. But it's not just one thing. It's not just water. It actually has things in it, enzymes, I think,
Enzymes, yes.
that will actually start the digestive process. It actually starts.
If memory serves me right,
It turns it into sugar.
it's amylase, which breaks down starches into sugar. So
Yes.
the process has already started.
And if you want to prove this, here's a little thing you might want to try. Take a piece of white bread, just a small piece of white bread, put it in your mouth, and then chew it. But keep chewing in your mouth for a very long time. And eventually, after a few minutes, the bread will start to taste sweet. And that's because your saliva is starting to convert the starch in the bread into
Sugar.
sugar.
Valentin makes a good point here, but because they recommend that you chew your food for 15, 20 times before you swallow it, as a rule. Because then you're breaking it down and you've got lots of saliva, so it won't get stuck and cause problems, as it's going into your stomach. And if there's anything I want to start doing, it's chewing my food more.
Yes.
I've been saying it for 40 years, but
If you ever want to see something that's not disgusting, but is almost disgusting, it's when Steve sits down and is hungry. And he just
I just have to get that food in my mouth.
I've
So smaller quantities, I think I'm going to try that. Smaller quantities and chew it slowly. Because eating in the UK, I mean, on the continent, in sort of Italy and Spain and France, and eating is not just something that you just do because you have to do it. It's part of a sort of a social process. And you sit down, you make a thing out of meals. You don't just wolf it down. There's a good expression.
Yeah.
If you wolf down your food, as in the animal, the wolf, wolves eat their food very quickly, don't they?
You mean like here?
Oh, Mr. Duncan, look at I didn't even know.
Yes. So to wolf down is to eat in a very hungry. It's as if you are starving and you need to eat quickly. You eat the food fast. You push the food into your mouth so quickly.
Don't wolf down your food.
Yes.
You'll get digestion problems. Yes.
So to eat fast.
To eat like a wolf or a dog even. Lewis is going. He's got some friends arriving and they've come a bit early. That's very rude to arrive early. You should always arrive slightly late.
Yes.
I'm joking.
No, I think you're right. I don't like turning up on time or even early because
if you turn up early, you might still be cleaning the bathroom when people arrive.
Well, not just that, but it's boring. I don't like going to parties early because there's never anyone there, and then you end up standing around like an idiot.
I don't think Lewis is having a party. I think they've just invited friends round.
Very nice.
So I hope you've cleaned your house out and you're not running around panicking now, having to clean things.
So here are some eating habits very quickly. Eating habits. Types of eating behaviour, I suppose, is the best way of describing it. So here we go. Eating habits. Here is one that a lot of people do, although there are many people who do not admit to doing it. Binge. I love that word. So a person might binge. They might suddenly eat. Even if they don't feel hungry, they might eat a large quantity of food. They are just eating because they want to eat, not because they are hungry. You binge. You eat large quantities.
Of not one particular thing, isn't it? So you binge on something. It could be chocolate
Ooh.
or cake.
Yeah.
Like we did last night, we had a binge. if you go on a binge, it means that you. I mean, that can be alcohol as well.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be food. You can go on an alcohol binge, and it means you have far more than is considered healthy.
Yes.
In one go.
We certainly did that last night.
You don't stop doing it.
People with eating disorders, maybe a person who just feels as if they need to eat, just the sensation or the feeling of eating somehow gives them a psychological comfort. So quite often we refer to binge eating as a person who just eats. Even if they don't feel hungry, they still want to. I believe the term is compulsive eater. A person who can't stop themselves. They will binge. They will spend maybe 20 or 30 minutes just eating a large quantity of one thing.
Or it could be alcohol, of course.
Yes.
With binge.
Ice cream.
Yes.
Yes, you know what happens. You're going out with your boyfriend or girlfriend and everything is all right. And then one day she or he says, I'm sorry. We've been together for a long time, but I'm sorry. I can't see you anymore. I'm sorry. I have to leave you. We have to break up. And then you go home. And what's the first thing you do, Steve? You binge on food. Quite often, ice cream. It's a very great comfort food, ice cream. I think it is the best.
Well, my mother tells me, even when I was growing up, about how much more regimented it was when you ate in the past when my mother was growing up. The table would be set. There would be a nice tablecloth. There would be the correct knives and forks, a nice dinner service, and all the family sat around, and the meal was an event. Every meal was an event. You didn't sit watching television while you were eating your food, which someone has mentioned as being a bad habit, which of course we all do from time to time. But nowadays, food is often seen as something just to get out of the way.
Yes.
At home, rather than something. It's not an event.
No.
And of course, that means I think a lot of digestive problems have come about as a result of rushing food, of fitting food in around work and social life or whatever. You just, I've just got to fit that food in. It's not seen as something to enjoy, something to spend time over, which is probably the healthy way of doing it, and certainly the way our parents grew up. And the way we used to when I grew up. You'd sit down, you'd all talk, you'd be eating your food, you wouldn't be rushing. It would be an event.
Yes, a social event.
Yes.
So it was a chance for families to come together and talk and share time together. But nowadays, people don't do that. They just eat very quickly and then move on to their next thing they have to do because their lives...
Talking of food, Rosa's going to have lunch.
Oh.
So you have a wonderful week too, Rosa. Thank you for your good wishes. And it's lunchtime for Rosa.
Very nice.
So she's having a meal.
Saturino asks, who has ever eaten something when he or she was driving?
Yes.
Oh, yes. We've seen it, haven't we? We've seen people eating food. Sometimes you might see a person driving with a sandwich.
I've done that.
In their hand, and they have one hand on the steering wheel, and the other hand they've got a sandwich in their hand. That is very naughty.
I've done that many a time in my job in sales. I'm needing to get from one appointment to another, and one's gone on for too long, or I didn't leave enough time in between, and I'm hungry. So I set off, and I've got a sandwich in one hand and the steering wheel in the other. I don't do it anymore because it's dangerous, obviously, and you can be heavily fined now for doing that. Even just drinking water. I still drink water when I'm going along.
I've seen you do that, and I hate it. I hate it when Steve drives along and he's got the steering wheel like this at 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock doing that. And then in his other hand, there is a bottle of water like
You
this.
become very skilled at staying in control of the car whilst simultaneously eating and drinking. I don't do it anymore. Well, sometimes I do water because I think that's, if the road is safe. But I mean, not that I should admit to it at work, because they've made it a policy at work that if we have an accident, if we are eating or drinking or doing something unsafe, then if we have an accident, even if the police don't catch you, you'll have to pay for the damage yourself
Yes.
to the car.
So this live stream might be used as evidence
Yes,
in the
exactly.
future. Well, Mr. Steve, we would like to show Exhibit 10B, which is a clip from your live stream where you admit to drinking water whilst driving in your car. Of course, nowadays, many cars can actually steer and drive on their own for a certain period of time.
Only really on the motorway.
Yeah, so you do have to, but don't do it.
Still, you'd be prosecuted.
Mr. Steve,
I don't do it anymore.
don't do it.
Very dangerous. And anyway, it gets very messy because if you don't eat the sandwich correctly, all the filling can fall out. That's happened to me.
I've seen Steve come back from work, and sometimes he has bits of food on his tie or on his shirt.
Because I've tried to eat a sandwich. This is in the past, not now.
Not now.
I will emphasise.
It's all past tense.
And you've got bits of chicken or something have fallen out of the sandwich. Or
Chicken?
If it's a chicken sandwich. So, and then you have to end up wiping it away. It's if I haven't left enough time in between appointments. So that's bad for your health because you're not chewing it properly, and it's not good to rush your food.
No.
That's something I want them, something to think about. That is.
When we're growing up, normally as kids, our parents will tell lots of things to us. They will tell, oh, you mustn't run because you might fall over. And one of them is you mustn't eat your food too fast. So my parents used to tell me, don't eat your food too quickly. And I could never understand why. But now I'm older, I know why, because of your stomach. And you end up with too much acid in your stomach and everything is horrible and painful.
Yes, so my mother always still says, she points out when people are eating in the street. So people buy burgers and they walk and they're eating burgers, or they're eating chips or crisps or something. To my mother, that is something that she never saw when she was growing up, and she still doesn't like to see people eating in the street.
Yeah.
But what it is, it's a symptom of how rushed our lives are. That you have to do that to fit food in around work, around everything else.
So what about a picnic?
It's a symptom of modern society.
Isn't a picnic eating food outside?
Yes, but you're sitting down and eating it. I'm talking about eating it in the street.
Oh, I see.
In the shopping centre.
So maybe you're walking along and
Yeah.
you've got a large beef burger in your hand and you just, I got to get to work.
Yeah, so and a lot of time people, instead of having breakfast, instead of eating breakfast at home, they won't allow themselves time to do that. They will, on the way to work, buy something as they're walking to work and then eat it as they're going into work.
Anyway, we've got some more words to show. Here's another one, Steve. This one, fast.
Right, yes.
So you might say that this is the opposite. The opposite of binge. You binge, you keep eating, you can't stop eating. So then we have the opposite, which is fast, which is where you restrict your eating habits, normally involving eating nothing.
Fast or fast, you can pronounce that both ways.
I can't believe that some people have to do this. You have to fast, you can't eat food.
Certain religions, of course, every year they go through a period of fasting, which could be during certain periods of time during the day. But even non-religious, I mean, some people just decide they want to go on a fast.
Well, it's seen as healthy now.
Yeah, it is. It's now seen as a healthy thing to do, to not eat for, say, 12 hours.
Yes, or days. There are some people, they do a 7-day fast. How can you not eat for that period of time? They just have things like water and very light food.
It's considered to maybe be healthy.
Maybe.
Are you going to use the word?
I couldn't do it.
Of course, the word breakfast.
Yes.
Isn't it? Breakfast, when your first meal of the morning,
Yes.
you're breaking your fast. That's where that word comes from.
Technically, you are fasting.
You are.
At night.
You are fasting between maybe 7 o'clock for 12 hours.
Yeah.
A lot of, most of us, if you have your evening meal at 7 o'clock and then you're not eating anything else for 12 hours. So you are, in fact, fasting for 12 hours.
Yes.
Anyway.
Hence the first meal of the day being called your breakfast.
Yes.
You see, you learn so much from us. We might look like a couple of dimwits, but we're not.
Well,
Fast.
you're not.
Here's another one, Steve. This is a word that we often hear just after Christmas.
A diet.
Diet. Again, diet can also be used as a noun and also a verb. So you can go on a diet, the thing you are doing, it's naming that thing, or you can diet, which means you are controlling the amount of food you eat. A word that many people use but rarely follow. How many people, and I'm including us.
Oh, sorry, Olga's just pointed something out. Yes, fast doesn't mean quick in this respect.
No.
No, the word fast can also mean quickly, but in this respect it means not to eat.
Cease.
If anything, it means the opposite, slow.
Yes, you cease.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Duncan. Yes,
You
diet.
cease. So you are stopping. You fast. You stop doing something. Diet. Yes, a lot of people say they say that they will go on a diet. We've done it. I've done it. Everyone does it. Maybe you go through a period of time where you want to lose weight, and maybe you do it for 5 days or 6 days, and then eventually, we all know what happens. We start to have those little snacks, and all of that bad junk food starts to reappear, and then suddenly, no more diet.
So in this respect, a diet means... So if you're trying to lose weight, for example, you will go on a diet, and that means that you are eating specific foods or specific quantities of food.
Yes, it is interesting how that word can be misinterpreted.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily mean eat less. What it means is you are controlling or you are eating certain things. We will often talk about a person's diet just from their normal eating habits.
Yeah, so you might, for example, go on a fruit diet, for example, where you just eat fruit. Or you might go on, there are different types of, particularly you ladies out there, looking after your figures and your health. Maybe before you're going on holiday, you will go on a diet. Usually it does mean, as you say, it doesn't necessarily mean you're eating less, but it usually means that you are taking in less calories. So you might cut out certain foods, but it's normally you're including certain foods in certain measured quantities in order to restrict your calories.
Yes. So it's interesting how that word can be used to mean your normal eating habits, your normal diet, or quite often when you are being careful about what you eat. We will also describe that as a diet.
There are many kinds of diet. We're not going to go into those.
No.
There are certain diets where you just eat lots of protein and you cut out the carbohydrates. Or there's other ones where you cut out the protein and have the carbohydrates. There's all sorts of different ways of losing,
Here's the final one. A person who eats too much. I suppose we all do this. We all eat too much sometimes for various reasons. Maybe we are hungry. If you are hungry, you will eat maybe too much because you really want to eat lots of food to fill your tummy up. A person who eats too much might be described as greedy or a glutton. Glutton, apparently one of the sins, gluttony, eating even if you don't need to eat.
Yes.
Gluttony. You are being greedy.
You glutton.
Yes.
It's not so commonly used now. People very rarely describe, because there are a lot of overweight people now. Being overweight is much more common than it used to be. Certainly when my parents grew up, even when I grew up.
I always find it interesting. Sorry, Steve. I always find it interesting because we are running out of time. We are about to go. I find it interesting that if you look at old photographs taken in the 50s or 60s on maybe a beach, you will see very few overweight people. In fact, almost none. No overweight people. And then reflect on today if you see a picture of people on the beach. There are literally people trying to push some of the sunbathers back into the ocean because they think they are whales.
It's become very common. Yeah, but yes, of course, food has become relatively much cheaper now. I know it's gone up recently because of inflation, but people took a lot more exercise in the past. My mother said she used to cycle and walk everywhere. Now people take the car, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem in society because it makes healthcare much more expensive as you get older.
Maybe the financial problems that people are having might lead to more people losing weight. I know that sounds terrible and uncaring, but maybe there is something in there. Maybe if people find it difficult to keep buying lots and lots of food, maybe they will lose weight. It's just a thought. Please don't come round and bang on my door again like you did last night. A person who eats too much food might be greedy or described as a glutton. And guess what, Mr. Steve? That's it.
Maybe people are greedy for more live streams from Mr. Duncan.
Yes, you are hungry for something.
Hungry for something.
I suppose that's a good word. We didn't mention hunger. So maybe if you want something desperately, you might be hungry for it. The feeling of needing something. We often describe it as your appetite. The feeling of wanting food or wanting anything. We can say that you are hungry for it.
I've got a healthy appetite. It means that you are eating probably I was about to sneeze.
I wonder what that was.
I thought I was going to sneeze, and often if you pinch your nose, it can suppress the desire to sneeze.
I thought it was a secret sign for all the other Freemasons watching.
Have you got a healthy appetite? Does that mean that you eat? Probably means that you eat reasonable amounts of food. You're not eating to excess. You've got a healthy appetite. Somebody that would be considered to be eating food in the correct proportions.
Yes.
And a balanced diet.
Yes. So you're not eating too much sugar. You are eating something that gives you a balanced intake of all of those essential things that you really need. Your body has to have to survive. Anyway, Steve,
talking of hungry, I'm feeling hungry.
And I'm feeling a little hungry as well. I had some breakfast, but I must admit, doing this uses so much energy. I've been standing here for the past 2 hours, so I am hungry, and we are going to have a cup of tea.
People are talking, we're having a snack. I shall have a snack.
Oh, I see.
I shall have a piece of bread.
Good.
People are talking a lot about cars, and I've resisted the temptation to wade in. If you wade in with something, it means you get involved.
Yes, you join in the conversation. You join in, you wade in, like going off into the sea. You wade.
Claudia, sweet things at night. Yes. It's so difficult. You get into a habit. You can get into habits, can't you? We get into a habit of, I go upstairs. We have something to eat. Then I'll go upstairs and do some things. Come downstairs about sort of 9:30. And the temptation is then to sit in front of the television and eat sweet things, chocolate, biscuits. And it's a habit.
Yeah.
It's bad to eat. Yes, and Claudia, we do the same thing.
Yes, we do. And we don't always regret it, but sometimes we do, especially if we have a big meal and then we eat lots of chocolate or unhealthy food. We don't have time for the sentence game because we have to go. I've been here for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
We've had a lively debate today. We've got a lot of people watching, by the way, Mr. Duncan.
It's been a busy one. Busy.
What will we eat today for dinner? Well, that's a good question.
Oh, well, I think something light, a light meal. See, that's another one.
I'm going to do a tomato tuna pasta
If you have something light, it means you are having maybe something that's easy on your stomach, something that's easy to digest, something that's not too heavy. So you have a light meal, maybe a small portion, or maybe something that is easy to digest.
Yes, a salad, something like that.
I can't believe I'm forcing you to
end.
Right,
all right, Mr. Duncan, lovely to be here.
Okay.
Have a lovely week, everybody. Hope you learn something new with English and hope you've learned something today and look forward to seeing you all. I will be here next week. We'll be fresh from the wedding.
Yes.
And we'll have a lot to tell you about that. Maybe a few photographs. I don't know.
Yes. We might not be allowed to.
Bye for now. See you next week.
I don't know why. Your nephew is very fussy.
Well, let's see what happens.
He might not let us. They might say, no, you can't.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mr. Steve.
Bye.
Mr. Steve is going now. Bye. Mr. Steve, just like Elvis, has left the building. But he will be back next week, joining us live on the live chat. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. English Addict, every Sunday and Wednesday, which means that I am with you on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. I am back with you. I will see you on Wednesday, and then next Sunday we are going to a wedding next week. I will be eating lots of food. I hope there will be the most amazing buffet or maybe a hot meal. Very nice. The only reason why I go to weddings and funerals, the food. Thanks for your company. I will see you again on Wednesday from 2 p.m. UK time. Thank you for your company. I've enjoyed it today. I hope you have as well. I hope it has been useful. I hope the things I've said and done have helped you in some way. Thank you very much for your company. I will be back with you on Wednesday. If I have missed you out, if I did not mention your name, please don't get angry with me. It's nothing personal, okay? Catch you on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of your Sunday. And I will see you on Wednesday. And we will do this a little bit more. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. I need to lie down on the bed. Ta-ta for now.